Miss Smita is a mentor. Miss Smita is so much. In fact, I don't have any words. It's so big, so long. So I would just give, mic to you. You talk about what you have done. She has raised wonderful families. She has achieved so much in her life. Always, putting women, mentoring them, putting women, guiding them. So Smita, if you can please, guide us and show us what things we can do. Thank you.
Are we having fun tonight? So when I was 21 years old, I came, okay, I'm not used to holding the mic up. So as a young 21-year-old, a young software engineer from IIT, having done no work in India, getting married to a person who I know, who was also an IITian, but I knew him only a little bit, I landed in this country. And I was like very gung-ho, oh, it's America, everybody's so friendly, and I would have so much fun. I come here, and I realize that I'm going everywhere that I'm going, either I'm getting a nerd, or I'm going along with my husband, and that seemed to bother me, that I need to go outside alone. And apart from cooking and watching TV, I wanted to do something. So I decided that I should take some self-defense classes. First, it'll make me go somewhere. And second, I won't be a nerd, right? So because when you are just a young 21-year-old, you come to America, maybe you guys are like very familiar with it, right? And you don't know anybody, what to do? Who to talk? You're amongst Americans, you just smile and you say hi, and then you don't know what to do next. And now I'm talking of a time way back, like 25 years ago, right? At that time, people didn't even know what India was, where India was. And if I said I'm Indian, they said, oh, American Indian. And they would say something in Swahili or some other language. Or they would say, oh, you are Spanish, but you don't like to speak Spanish. Okay, how many people are familiar with that? Well, at this time, everybody knows that we are Indians, right? This is 25 years ago. So I started going to this karate class, and I made a couple of friends. And through those friends, I told them I'm a software engineer and I would like to find some work. At that time, there was no internet, in a way like, there was UUNet, but you couldn't find just any job, you couldn't Google anything as to where to go and everything, so, because Google wasn't around, right? So they tell me that at UCLA, there are some free classes, free seminars that one can attend, and there's a UCLA placement service that anybody who's an engineer or has a degree can go and apply. I go there and I apply, I look at it, I look through them, they're like administrative assistant jobs, I had no job experience, and other kind of jobs, and one of them stood out to me. It said, we need a software engineer who knew statistics, mathematics, computer science, and biology, and was familiar with women's functionality. Like, it was really written like how the anatomy of women works. Now, how many people can do that job? I was lucky because I had applied for medical school in India, and I didn't go there because I didn't like blood. So I knew biology, and I knew computer science, right? So I applied for it, and voila, it was like 3 weeks later, my interview was scheduled. And then when I went to UCLA, I looked at everything over there, that there were some free seminars on artificial intelligence, and that was my field. So I go to this artificial intelligence seminar, and I'm sitting, and this older lady sitting next to me and getting thoroughly confused. But they are talking about biotech and artificial intelligence, and she was muttering to herself. So when there was a break, I just turned to her and I asked her, is everything okay? And she said, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm supposed to lead a project in this, and they make no sense. I said, oh, I can help you. I'm a software engineer, and a little bit if you want, and I helped her. And she was like, oh, I'm so happy, and we walked outside, we talked for a little while. She said, next time you come to UCLA, come see me, my name is Dottie. Fine. 3 days later, what do you think happened? I go for my interview. I walk in. Who do I see? My interviewer was Dr. Rosenthal, Dr. Dottie Rosenthal. And she beamed when she saw me. And here was an opportunity that I just got. And that's where my journey in America started. 25 years ago, 27 years ago.
Nice.
So I would like to talk a little bit about myself. I'll just give a quick background. So currently I run a management consulting firm that specializes in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and people engagement. That is like people get motivated and how they like to do motivation, engagement to like their jobs as well as enjoy their jobs, okay? And my clients are like AT&T and DirecTV and Molina Healthcare and others. And I'm also managing partner of Amrit. And so I've done this, a lot of things in my life. I started a company, and that also started as in 1991 because I was getting antsy working at UCLA in that job that I told you guys about, right? It was like only doctors, and they wouldn't listen to an engineer saying, "We are doctors, why should we listen to you?" And how many of you have had that from a lot of doctors, right? And so I said, okay, I'll make something that will make me listen to me. So I did start a company at that time that helped doctors, but we found that the doctors were very cheap. They didn't want to spend more than $3,000. So there were other kind of doctors, like veterinarians, who were very, very good. And they were willing to pay $50,000 for the same thing that a regular doctor would pay $3,000. Biga Bania, this is what became like a light bulb in my head that I should start something that makes $50,000 instead of $3,000, right? So I turned my focus to veterinarians. It was the same medical software. Instead of patient being a human being, it was an animal, right? And then we added to it and we sold. So the company grew, my husband joined me, and we had a lot of fun doing that. That was my first company. And I was enjoying it. At that time I had my kids, and my wonderful son asked me when he was 5 years old, "Mom, who's your boss?" And I said, me? He said, "Then why do you work so hard? And why don't you just spend more time with me?" So my husband and so what I'm trying to tell you is that family first is very important. So to me, at that time we decided, my husband and I, that this company is now ready to be sold. Because I needed to be with my kids and give more attention, because I was giving them attention, the quality time that we used to talk about. I was home 5 p.m., I spent 8 with him, and then at 8 o'clock the nanny came, took care of him, and I went back to work, right? But we realized, and then that was the first company I sold. I spent a lot of time with the kids, started a couple of other companies, and fast forward to 2013, started when my kids were in college, means I did a couple of companies before and always was busy. But 2013, when my first one went to college, I started another company and I sold it, a mini company to AT&T. And after that, I have my third company, that is the management consulting firm, and I partner with my husband's company. I'm also the president of, how many people know about TAI? So TAI is the Indian Entrepreneur Organization that has 61 chapters around the world. And we have like about 20,000 members, 24,000 members and 4,000 charter members worldwide. And it is for fostering entrepreneurship. And I like to do that is encourage young entrepreneurs or older entrepreneurs. There's no age limit to start a company. Whenever your mind is to start a company, start it. Because all it requires is passion and grit, right? And you can do it. So I'm the current president of TAI Southern California. We have 5,000 members, and then we have about 60 charter members. And if you want to know more about it, I can tell you more later about this. We also have a women empowerment group of people who are professionals called Women's Initiative Network, and SEMA is part of it, and we can also tell you more about that. So other than that, I like to have a lot of fun. So I started acting. So when I was little, I acted in one movie, accidentally, called Sargam. And my mom said, "No, you're too smart to go into movie industry." And so she told the director, "Don't I don't allow my kids to go into the movie industry, it's corrupt. And, well, they put me in only like 2 scenes, but I was just satisfied with it. But with my mom, I used to appear on TV every month because we had a craft show at that time. So I held that, I became an engineer, became successful, and while my kids were growing up, I pushed them towards acting a little bit because I also liked it. But when my kids started going to college and were self-sufficient, I restarted acting and like appeared in some student films, and then now I'm a recurring actor at Santa Monica Playhouse. And also, I will show you later, we have some acted in a BuzzFeed video with the help of my son, who's here. And and I still can follow it. And I am so thankful for having 2 wonderful kids. So that's about myself. Could we move to the next one? What I really want to talk to you about is, as my journey started in America about seizing opportunities, right? Because here I go, I found somebody who did UCLA, mentioned UCLA, I went to UCLA, I met Dottie, I was very helpful, and I talked to them, I knew my stuff, and then I took that opportunity to like explain to her, and then it translated into a job for me, right? So, couple of things if you want to really succeed in life. Some of the tenets that have driven me are seizing opportunity as it comes. Always be ready. If somebody tells you, would you like to do that? Be always willing to give. Always be willing to help people sincerely. And give, and don't expect anything to come back to you right now, right? Or ever. It's better to give. And something will happen to bring it back to you. So that is one thing, and then be competent and accountable. And then the other thing is be creative and get innovative solutions. So like in an engineering organization, how many people are engineers here? Nice. How many people are problem solvers here? Absolutely. As a mom, we are always problem solvers, right? Except that our kids don't like us to solve their problems after they grow beyond 6th grade, okay? Keep it in mind, but don't solve any more problems after your kids grow to middle school. Let them find their own. I learned it the hard way, but you guys, please follow that. So, problem solving skills, so use that in your workplace. For example, there was one of my clients, I was helping them, they had an impasse at that time that we had a whole software solution set up, enterprise solution set up, and there was nobody to test it. We only had 1 month left. If we didn't test it, our product would have gone waste. So when I was looking to them, we had people in the East Coast, people in Hawaii, and people in West Coast. I don't know where this idea dawned on me. We could do sliced testing. This is a term that I made up, right? How you would do it, you would start the computer system, East Coast people would test up till 1 o'clock that time. West Coast people would test 1 to 4 our time on West side, and Hawaii is 4 hours behind, right? They would test 5 to 9 our time, and we were able to complete the testing in one month and release the product. So like that, come up with innovative solutions. So think about outside the box, okay? And develop good communication skills. When I say communication skills, it is not just speaking clearly, it's not just by just talking, it's to be mindful about, listen to people, what they are saying. When you're listening to people, just don't be ready to give all the time. Somebody's talking to you and an idea comes to you, hang on to it, do a pause. It's known as IAP. That means it's an awkward pause, but it is intentional awkward pause. So what it does is, when you're listening to people and they stop, you do this IAP for a little while, they talk more, right? You get more information, and this is how you grow. So some of the communication skills that you need to develop are there. And then be mindful, take notes if you want somebody, and then follow up with them. And this is good networking skill too. That came in handy for me. And then show commitment and passion, and also be very good at your stuff. So those were the things that have driven me throughout. So I started a company, sold it, started another one, sold it. In the middle, I did a lot of consulting, a lot of careers. Now, these things we don't only have to use in companies, we can use in our personal life too. So when I started my latest company, I got to go to San Diego 3 days a week, Tuesday to Thursday, and I booked at Marriott Hotel 3 days for 6 months, right? I went there, after 2 weeks of going there, they put me in a hotel, they were getting renovation done, they put me in a room that had a lot of noise. I complained about it, they moved me to another room that had even louder noise. And I kept complaining, but they kept moving me from room to room. So I got really mad and I asked the manager to see me. So he said, oh, I'm so sorry. And I said, okay, this is fine today, but what about, and then when I came back next week, the same stuff happened. So I called the manager and said, this is not done. So the manager was very apologetic. And he said, oh, I can upgrade you to gold status and give you 20,000 points. And I can also reimburse you for the time that you've been there. So now my mind is calculating everything, right? Okay, 20,000 points means 3 free nights, and he's going to reimburse me for the 6 nights, or like 10 nights that I have stayed here. That is only this much. But, so a thought occurred to me. So you know, the things are silver status, gold status, platinum, and titanium status, right? Platinum status, if you get, all around the world, you get free breakfast, you get your choice of the room, right? If you get titanium, you get 20 nights free. So I told him, I said, you know, instead of returning, I understand, I still have to be here for 6 months. Instead of taking my stuff to some other place, I could be here if you treat me right. How about giving me titanium status? And he thought, and he said, no, we can't give you. I said, okay, fine, then I'm going. I don't really care about these stupid $1,000. It doesn't make much, it's not worth it for me. So he kept on talking, so we came up to platinum status. I got my platinum status by staying in Marriott for 10 nights. All through the world, that I could stay in any Marriott and I could book it and get special services. So I would say this is what being a Bania does. You think and think and think and make it work. So those are some of the things that you try in personal life. Is problem solving, being creative and innovative, and do things passionately, right? So just wanted to share some of those things with you as to how the excellence works. You can create workplace excellence and also use these things in your family life, right? Can we move to the next slide, please? And balancing the family front and yourself. So this is my family, my son, my daughter, my husband, and I in our current house. We live in a place that I feel like, like I'm 90 years old and I'm like one-pressed, but it's really fun to be there. And so throughout the years, when I was working also, after my son said at 5 that, why do you work so hard? I made sure that we always make time that was necessary for the kids. They were first. The family came first and career came second, in my mind. And we were there for the kids. I became involved in the school activities. Now kids, when you ask them when they're little, what did you learn at school? Oh, I enjoyed lunch. How many people can identify with that, right? 99% of the kids always enjoy just the lunch period or the play period. They don't remember what they did in math or English and stuff, and you can, keep asking them over and over again. And still they will keep on saying the same thing. So I got involved in school, trying to help with the teachers, so that at least I knew what was going on, plus if I could help them in some way. And it was a lot of fun. I met a lot of parents like me. And we became like a family. And the kids started enjoying each other. So I was part of PTA, became PTA president, foundation. During that same time, I started doing my other things that I like to do. I used to have a masquerade ball. So for our high school, for the foundation dinner, I created a masquerade ball. And people had so much fun. We got a lot of fun. And for Whitney High School is where my kids went. It was a thing. So, and right now I act and I found my passion for acting. That's one of the plays that I did, a couple of other plays. So you should always explore. You should always have a little bit of time just to find your passion to keep you sane and be happy. So to me, that has been my life journey and I really enjoy it. So you guys may be seeing this, my son made this video for me. For Mother's Day, I'm really touched. And my daughter and I, we did this BuzzFeed video about how to make biryani, chicken biryani. So South Asians learn. So there are some of the things up on YouTube if you want, then we can share it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Smita. It was really nice talk. Like, I saw when you started, there were some, we were talking, some of us were talking, and as, we went into, it was more, engaging and learning. So thank you, we really appreciate that. And we have something small for you from West Indian Women. So, this is something small for you. Thank you. And Smita came all the way from Malibu. Think about it. Well, send her friend's request and let's all go to her house. She has a beautiful house. So thank you, Smita. And do you guys have any questions? Oh, Namrata has a question. And meanwhile, we would like to introduce Avi, that's Smita's son. So say big hi to Avi. And that's the best part, when the kids are with you, they're part of your team, because family is the best team. So here you go, Namrata, you have a quick question?
I was the 5-year-old.
Hi, Smita ma'am. I have two questions. One is for professional and another is a personal one. The journey looks very, very inspiring, but I'm sure you would have faced and stumbled and fell. What was your key takeaway from that? Because I think there's none that, the journey doesn't really happen without it. Secondly, and I'll finish off the questions in one go, being not so young mom, I don't know where to categorize myself. There's a lot of fear around raising your child, you want it to be so perfect. But how do you deal with it? That entire balance of rootedness and yet giving them the wings and the country that we are in. I can see your son looks handsome and nice and wow. And so if you could just let us know, it'll be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Namrata. First is yes, there's a lot of challenges and obstacles that come in the life, right? So, a couple of company ideas, a couple of products that I started didn't go well. And sometimes the client, there was a time, one client, we were working feverishly for the client, and they stiffed us for $100,000, right? We were a startup. We had invested everything that we had in our company, and the client made us deliver, we paid all these vendors, and they stiffed us for $100,000. Where do you go from there? At that time, you just collect everything, think hard, is it still the journey that you want? That is the passion that comes through. And you would, you have to find out how could you say, what is the other paths you can take? What are the other clients you can see at that time? So you find solutions along with, it's good to have some mentors at that time who could help you. So I went to IIT Kanpur and IIT Roorkee. And some of the seniors were here at that time. And when something like that happened, because, in any college that you go to in India, you have an alumni association, and when you are in a different country, they have a special soft spot for their younger ones. So I just dialed a couple of people, and I said, hey, I would like some advice. I'm not asking you for money, I'm not asking you for anything, just please guide me a little bit. And it was so amazing. There's a person called Rupi Kohli, who was 15 years my senior. And he said, oh, of course, come on over. We'll sit down, you guys come over. And he became my mentor in my company. Similarly, others. And they guided us, and we slowly we did credit card loans and stuff, and went through it. And then we made a success. It's the grit and that even if when you find a dip, to still stand up and find the positive and move on. And family support is very important. So at that time, my husband wasn't in the business, but then he became in the business, and he said, we have to go. So everybody helps at that time. Your family and friend support is important. Now for the kids and managing the family, right? So you have to, when you are out here, you have to spend more time with your kids because unless you have family here, it is hard. So one thing that we decided that we won't take as many vacations, but we will have really nice nannies. And we had Indian nanny that was just like a mom, and we treated her just like an aunt. And she was able to give us the courage to be with the kids while we worked. And so you find a support system that way. You have friends who will take over your kids and treat them similarly nicely. So it is hard, but you have to figure out the support system because you can't ignore it. You have to take care of it.